We all answer to someone. Now, at first thought, some of you might disagree with me, but think about it. Let's say you think you are accountable to no one but yourself. You run a red light and you get a fine in the mail. That fine says you are accountable to the laws of the country. Let's say you ignore that fine until you are called to court. You are now accountable to not only the laws of the country, but also the judge that you sit in front of. Accountability is so important, and in reality, it's actually a positive thing rather than the negative we often think it is. Accountability says someone cares for us and about us. That someone wants the best for us and will work alongside us to achieve that goal. And so in our passage, Peter asks us to humble ourselves under, be held accountable to God. Remember, the Christians that Peter is writing to are under immense persecution. It would be so difficult not to retaliate against the oppression with anger and hostility. But God wanted something better for them. He didn't want them to react out of anger and fear, but to respond with care and love. He wanted them to achieve the goal that had been set for them, to share the love of Jesus. Again, I don't see accountability from a negative point of view. Here, Peter goes on to write that we should cast all our anxiety on him, because he cares for you. That is God. God cares for his creation. Think back to when everything was great in the Garden of Eden. God cared enough to create humankind for the earth and all its creatures to be accountable to. Even when Adam and Eve sinned, he cared for them by clothing them. So it's in our best interest to be accountable to God, for he cares for us. I love how the Passion Translation puts verses 6 and 7. If you bow low in God's awesome presence, he will eventually exalt you as you leave the timing in his hands. Pour out all your worries and stress upon him and leave them there, for he always tenderly cares for you. Accountability gives us a place to leave stuff that binds us up and allows for forgiveness to happen. It's all in the way we choose to respond. So can you imagine what would happen if the recipients of this letter gave their troubles, their burdens, or their anxieties to God? Imagine what they would be released from, their burdens of stress and worry, to respond to their oppressors with grace and love, transforming a horrible situation. If that is possible for them, then it is also possible for us. It is possible to choose to be accountable to God, lessen our load, and to be the people he has called us to be. My prayer for us all this week is that we will do just that. Choose to be accountable to God so that we may respond to the situations in our lives with a manner that reflects the true nature of God. I'll leave again with you our conversation starters for this week, which are, what do you think the world would be like if everyone only cared about themselves? And secondly, Jesus taught people to love their enemies. How is this practical or possible? Have a blessed week, and we'll see you again soon.